It's Hexy. Let's see what's going on here with Crossing the Line, Aachen 1944. Um, so we've played into turn 6. We're getting ready to start the admin phase of turn 7. And I wanted to see what happened because it looked like a crushing blow was being handed to the Germans. But the 116th Panzer was coming on in massive strength on turn 6. On turn 7, the 15th was a Panzer Grenadier unit comes on, and they're pretty potent too. They're actually quite a large stack too, so this should be interesting on the next turn. Now, okay, did the 116th Panzer do any damage? Well, yeah, they pretty much decimated the 2nd Armored Division. They knocked out 2 tank units from the 2nd Armored Division, and they've literally just crushed these 2 tank units and the infantry units under here and the infantry unit here. Now, he's recovered. The other infantry unit underneath here is not disrupted anymore. 30th Infantry came down to support them as best they could. Had to use a bunch of action points to get these guys down here to attack. But they did come down and help to sort of quash what the 116th Panzer was beginning to do. Now, it couldn't put the full force of 116th Panzer in because of these units down here near Jülich, which is the objective, the main objective for the Americans. That's the chit that was drawn. Not enough to go in there and attacking those guys, but they can keep them from moving around and taking the entire. Because the Americans got to take all of these hexes right here, all right, to get those points for that. Will they do it? I don't know. Like I say, 15th Panzer Grenadier comes on. Now the problem is that the casualties. These 3 stacks right here are the dead pile pretty much for the Germans. That's it for the Americans. All right. And you get, it's like for every 5 strength points or something, there's a chart for it, you might get a victory point. So it looks like the Americans might have quite a few victory points sitting up there. Haven't tallied any of that. I might tally just to see where we stand, because the Americans do own most of the locations. They own Aachen way up here. 1st Infantry Division now has pretty much the remnants of the 326th. Well, let's see. Let's get up where y'all can see it. 1st Infantry Division has the remnants of the 326th, which they will not have supply this turn. They're cut off, okay? 49th has been backing up, which now I don't know, was that a mistake or not, because they were trying to come back and slow down this 3rd Armored Division's breakout, which they were not able to do because the 3rd Armored Division, well, let's just say, they've broken out. All right, so the 3rd Armored Division here is pushed around. They're going to try to take this objective here of Werslin. All right, and down here in the bottom, then, are they and the 9th Infantry Division, which is just a minimal force, they're pushing towards Eschweiler. Right now, the Americans, well, they're sitting on most of the objectives. So, except for they don't have all of Jülich yet, which is the Rohr Dam area, or the Rohr River area. They don't have all of that yet. Okay, so how has this happened? The formation activation numbers, if you are an American formation and you have a max of 7 formation activations on the chart for that formation, okay, which you can see the chart right there. All right, each turn, if you are a 7, you get to add 5 to your activation, no more to a max of 7. So if you stop all these 7s at 2 and don't use any more and you pass, on the next turn they'll come back up. All the 4s, they come up 2. All right. So both of these infantry divisions here, they'll go back to their maximum of 4. Now, the Germans is a little different story. This interdiction marker right here, which for this turn was on 2, you have a chart when you're rolling for how many activations they're going to get this turn for the Germans. It's not as easy as the Americans. And that activation chart is in the middle right there, depending on what the maximum effectiveness of the unit of the formation is, and then you're going to use the interdiction level to determine how many they get added to their chart. So last turn, they really didn't get much of anything because it was on this +2. So, and right now I tried to leave a couple of these formations with 1. So depending on what the interdiction level is on the next turn, they might go up 2, maybe 3 at the most. 116th Panzer is a 7 formation, but I doubt they're going to go back up unless that interdiction level drops to nothing. 15th Panzer Grenadier, they will come on, and they will come on with their 6 to start as reinforcements this turn. The other thing, too, is the Americans get replacements. They get 3 armor replacements. They get 2 mechanized infantry and 2 infantry. And it's just you're adding a point to a unit that is down strength. The Germans, on the other hand, they can cannibalize units. They don't get any replacement points. So they can take a similar unit, say they're both reduced, they can reduce one however many points to bring the other one up to maximum. That's pretty much the basics for that. Other than that, all they get is reinforcements. So I have a feeling that this one is going to end bad for the Germans. The first few turns, there was no breakout. And then when the 9th Panzer got withdrawn and the small formation of the 116th got withdrawn, that opened up a hole that I could not cover right in here, and 2nd Armor blew through it. The other thing I do, and of course most of y'all have heard me say this before, is I don't like to look at the reinforcement chart when I'm playing a game. I probably should. That's kind of another fog of war for me. And these 3 American divisions that came in up here, and I had shifted the Germans that were on this line. Bad idea. I should have realized they were there for a reason. I had started to shift them, and all of a sudden, boom, 30th and 2nd Armored show up, and then the remaining 29th Division shows up. So that created a problem because 2nd Armored slipped right down through here, all the way down to the Ruhr, and started taking victory locations. So we're going to go into the next turn. The 15th Panzer Grenadiers coming on, and that's pretty much it, I believe, for the Germans. Yeah. And let's see what happens there. Let's see if maybe 116th and some of these forces here in the middle. I think I boo-booed when I assigned these guys to the 246 because the 246 just doesn't get any activations. I probably should have assigned them to 116th Panzer so they could be more effective, which I will check the rules because I believe at the start of the turn you can reassign them to the unit. And I probably need to get these armor units and these motorized infantry units attached to them, so because they can do far more damage that way. All right, so there we go. That's after 6 turns of crossing the line, Aachen 44. I'm going to do a review. I'm setting up kind of a rating system. I thought maybe I'd do it, and this is going to be the first game I apply it to. Hopefully it works out. We'll do a video on that and see what you all think. Get your all's opinions of it. But I will say right now that the play of this game, it's very good. I love the format of the game. I really do. I'm trying to make some notes to myself whether it's something I like or don't like. Not a whole lot yet. I don't want to say that there's bad rules to this because with the fact that the Americans have blown through it, because I made a couple mistakes, like I say, as shifting German troops, and then I didn't account for the withdrawal of the 9th and the 116th. So maybe if I rethink that, this might be one of those things where you start pulling the Germans back almost immediately and give up some points so that you don't sacrifice a whole bunch of casualties, which is what's happened. And, they're getting ready to take a bunch more up here in Aachen. So it looks like those guys are going to cut off, and it's going to be the end for them. All right, anyhow, let's get this video up so y'all can see what's going on, and let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.